Hey folks, how you doing? This is the Wayne S. Pierce Show podcast right here on the American Liberty Radio Network. I took a couple of days off, had some important stuff to do. Sorry. Yeah, you know, life has a tendency to do that. We have a tendency to look at life and, well, one, take it for granted, and then two, forget stuff. We forgot to do a few things. It was important. I had to take care of it. That's all right. We took care of it, and things are fine. It's all right. Today, I want to talk about this whole issue about Jade Helm 15 and all of that. But before I get into that, I have a little rant. I have a little rant. You know, I've heard a lot of people talk about Glenn Beck, talk about Alex Jones, talk about this, talk about that, and even people on my Facebook page that have responded to certain things, and even I responded to certain other things as well on other people's pages. And the bottom line is, not one person knows what the hell they're talking about. I'll tell you straight up, if I don't know, I don't know. But I'll find out. If I don't know, I'm not going to sit there and make myself look stupid by talking about something I know nothing about. Okay? Or, here's my point on these other posts. People come up and say, well, you're full of crap, this isn't it, and I've got 14 years of this, and I got 20 years of this, and I was in the military, and we're not seeing any of this. Well, let me bottom line it for you. You're not told everything. You're not going to be told everything. Because the people that are actually running the place aren't going to tell you. They're not going to come to your CO to have your CO tell you, hey, guess what we're going to do? We're going to take over America. We're going to enslave people. No, that would piss you off, wouldn't it? So I don't give a crap if you've been in the military for 30 years and you keep saying, well, I've never seen anything like that, because they're not going to show you. That's the bottom line. That's the honest truth. If they're not going to show you, then what? Yeah, then what are you going to do? But these people who tell me and other people that Glenn Beck are wrong and is wrong and Alex Jones is wrong and Josh Tolley is this and oh, they're all disinformation agents and blah, 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 blah. I'm going to say this, and then I'm going to shut up about the subject. Anybody that contradicts me or anybody else or tells me or anyone else that these people are disinfo agents, or I'm a disinfo agent, or I work for this, or whatever, needs to shut their big damn pie hole, because they don't know what they're talking about. They never have, and they never will. And unless they put up or shut up, I ain't going to listen to them anymore. That's it. Okay? I already know, I already know how they're going to try to weasel their way into making everybody else believe that they're right. They're going to take everything contradictive, everything that's opposite, everything that's negative about what Glenn Beck says, what Alex Jones says, what I say, what Josh Tolley says, Nick Tucker, Brian Lang. They're going to take they're going to find all this other information in a Reader's Digest version of dissemination, and they're going to put it out there, and they're going to try to convince people that, oh, we're a bunch of liars. Well, guess what? They're the liars. They're the pieces of crap that absolutely will not and do not want to accept the truth and the facts as the way they are. That's the bottom line. Okay? That's one aspect of it. But I'm going to go to break, come back, finish it up. This is the American Liberty Radio Network. This is the Wayne S. Pierce Show podcast. You can find us on American Liberty Radio Network on Facebook, and also The Wayne S. Pierce Show on Facebook. I'll be back right after this. The world as we know it has been turned upside down. The leaders are faced with possible annihilation from their enemies. The United States is at the brink of a total collapse. This is the reality we live in. What can be done? The truth, the facts. American Liberty Radio Network. AmericanLibertyRadio.weebly.com. The best in independent books, films, and music. Radio Rock 92.6 The Blitz promotes and plays original indie music from all around the world. If you've got the internet, you can be heard. Radio Rock 92.6 The Blitz. Go to radiorocktheblitz.blogspot.com. Hey folks, welcome. This is the Wayne S. Pierce Show podcast right here for the 22nd of April, 2015. How are you? You can email me, a little coffee there. You can email me at AmericanLibertyRadio@USA.com, AmericanLibertyRadio@USA.com. Please, I want to hear from you. You can go to American Liberty Radio Network on Facebook and also the Wayne S. Pierce Show on Facebook as well. Check it out. You can go to AmericanLibertyRadio.weebly.com or my personal website, WayneSPierce.com. Check things out there as well. Lots of things going on. Give a big shout out to the one and only freedom fighter in Lima, Ohio, or Lima, Ohio, whichever one. It's up there in Ohio. Mr. Brian Lang over at LiveTruthRadio.com. Live Truth Radio. Stand up, speak out, get involved. Live Truth Radio and LiveTruthRadio.com with your host, Brian Lang. Yes, right there. So there you go. Anyhow, getting back to this. Let me tell you, people who contradict me need, well, the burden of proof is on them. So there you go. And I already know how they're going to try to bring it up. So, the other thing is I've heard these so-called Christians, these so-called aware and awake people, well, let's just put it this way. They're not so tolerant. And I use that word loosely. I put it in quotes. And when I say tolerant, I mean they don't want to hear anything other than what they want to hear, in terms of it has to line up with them and their view, and that's just the way it is. And I look at it this way. If you're so, I'm going to be honest, if you're so narrow-minded to think that everybody has to believe what you believe and believe it your way, to me, that's dangerous. Okay? Can you say cult leader? I'm just saying. I'm just putting it out there. You know? Because I'm more open-minded. And when I was going to Christian churches for over 20 years, I went to three of them actually. And I was a member of two of them for quite a while. You know, I found that they were the most intolerant people I have ever met in my whole entire life. Okay? And for them to just blatantly tell me I was wrong, you know, that, oh, everything has to be this and everything. No, excuse me. Hello. It is our obligation and duty as individuals and human beings to find out what's wrong. Basically, who's behind the curtain pushing the buttons and pulling the handles. Because we want to be safe. We want to be, we want to know that the next step we take is not going to hurt us. You know what I'm saying? So, so anybody, I was interviewed on a show last week, and I'll tell you straight up, ShakeandWakeRadio.com. I was on a show, and I was asked questions about the subject that we were talking about. Well, I was answering the questions, and in the middle of answering these questions, every time I was asked, right, certain aspects of the subject and all this, the network person, the person that runs the network, kept interrupting me and kept going on these 20-minute tangents and rants. And literally the whole thing was his way. It has to be God's way. That's what he was saying. Everything else is satanic. It has to be God's way. Well, he didn't say that verbatim, but that's the gist of what he was telling his listeners. The host of the show that I was on didn't say much. The other two people that were there, that were on the show, didn't say much until he began to continually interrupt me or other people that were on the show. And these two other people from California finally just told the guy, hey, can you let him answer questions when he was talking about me? Talking to me, and I was trying to answer questions. And finally, at one point, I just said, look, you're going to have to let me answer the question or I'm going to hang up. I didn't hear anything coming out of him for at least a half hour. Okay? Here's my point. It's not just one way. Many, many people have various views and have their own perspective of things. That's okay by me. Okay? I'm fine with that. What I don't like is somebody who's inserting aggressively and insisting that it has to be their way. That's what I don't like. And when that happens, bye, have a nice day. I don't want to deal with people like that. I've dealt with them all my life. I've put them in their place every single time. I've made them feel 2 inches tall because I've proven to them they are absolutely 100% wrong in every aspect. I don't care what subject it is, but I'll be the first in line to admit that I don't know everything. But I'm willing to listen and I'm willing to learn. But if you're going to get up in my face and tell me that I'm wrong and it has to be this way or no way, yeah, that's when I close the door on your face. That's when I walk away. And I call you for what you are. This guy on this show was totally and absolutely 100% wrong in every aspect of what he was trying to assert onto his audience, even when I tried to answer the questions. He was totally and absolutely wrong because the subject matter, he knew nothing about it. Not the host that was talking to me, but the person running the network who was the co-producer of the show. Not my friend who was hosting the show, but the other guy. Let me make that clear. So he had no idea what the hell he was talking about. He was delusional. Plus, 90% of the time, I don't even want to put a percentage on it. Most of the time, he sounded like he was drunk off his ass. And I just don't deal well with people like that. I don't think you would either. But, So, yes, ShakeandWakeRadio.com. Go check that out. It's in the archives. Okay? It's on a Friday night. I forget the name of the show now. But email this guy. I think his name's Rick. I don't know. But email him and tell him how pathetic he is. Because if he's not willing to learn and understand and go beyond the limits of his rut that he stuck himself in, or anybody else for that matter. I know someone right now personally who's so stuck in a rut that no matter what I tell them, they're not going to change. Okay? And if anybody's like that, then you got problems. You got some serious, serious problems that need to be addressed. You know? So anyway, that's my big rant. You got something to say. You got something to talk about. You got to ask questions. You got to learn, right? Well, then ask the questions, but be willing to listen before you go, off onto some tangent somewhere that you on the subject you know nothing about. So there you go. And this person over there at Shake and Wake Radio, and I'll tell you, my friend, Brian Keller, he was very, very cordial, very interested in what I had to say. So thank you, Brian. But when this other person kept interrupting me, I knew at that point, the first time he interrupted me, I knew he didn't want to listen. And he wasn't going to listen. And he never has listened. And he never will listen. Much like a lot of people I know. But I also know the other side of that coin, and that is when you listen and you learn and you attempt to understand what's going on, you'll have a clearer view of what is happening, and you'll be able to assess the situation the best way you can, and then draw your own conclusions on what's best for you. That is the bottom line, ultimately. Listen, learn, and take it from there. Just don't sit there and point fingers and rant and yell and scream and interrupt people and when you don't know anything about the subject. And don't take, documentaries that you've said you've seen and use them as gospel. Well, I've seen this documentary and I've seen that documentary and I've done and I've done my research. No. I've done my research too. I've got 35 years of research behind me. So I don't want to hear somebody from a lackluster, second-rate online freaking network tell me in not so many words that I don't know what I'm talking about. Okay? I've listened to some of the shows on shakeandwakeradio.com, and let me tell you something. The only one that I will listen to is the one that Brian Keller hosts. That's the only one. And I've heard bits and pieces of the other ones. I didn't listen to the whole shows. I'm just listening to bits and pieces of them. I'm being totally transparent with you. But whoever runs that network certainly has absolutely no integrity and no character whatsoever when all they want to do is interrupt and push their ideas. You got to see it their way or no way. And that's wrong. That's absolutely wrong. So I call them out on the carpet, and that's the way it is. And if they want to respond, great, we'll talk about it. If not, have a nice day. Folks, I'm going to go to break here in a minute, or actually in less than that. You can email me at AmericanLibertyRadio@USA.com. AmericanLibertyRadio@USA.com. Go to AmericanLibertyRadio.weebly.com. I'll be back after this short break. This is the American Liberty Radio Network. Contact us at AmericanLibertyRadio@USA.com or go to our website at AmericanLibertyRadio.weebly.com. The reality underneath the honesty. Live Truth Radio. Live Truth Radio with your host, Brian Lang. LiveTruthRadio.com. Waking up the masses on Truth Frequency Radio. Hosted by Robert Bruce. Monday through Thursday, 1 p.m. to 3 p.m. Eastern. TruthFrequencyRadio.com. Hey folks, welcome back. This is the American Liberty Radio Network right here on Spreaker.com. Also go to AmericanLibertyRadio.weebly.com. Check that out as well. Also my personal website, WayneSPierce.com. Check that out. Awesome. It's awesome to bring you these podcasts, and I really enjoy it. And I hope you enjoy it too. If you can, hey, help me cover the overhead. So go to WayneSPierce.com. There's 3 ways to contribute if you would like and if you can. You know, the least I ask is that you share the show. There you go. If you want to help out financially, you can. There you go. So, you got a choice. It's there. Anyway, I got a book called Many Directions a Man. You can go to WayneSPierce.com, go to the store page, and you'll see it right there. I've got some emergency supplies as well. If you want those, go to the store page. It's right there. WayneSPierce.com. Click on store, and there you go. I want to get into this Jade Helm thing, man. A little coffee in the morning. I want to get into this because I feel that there is a little something that I think we need to take care at looking at. And I think what it is is the fact that no one really knows. Now, we've had both sides say that this Jade Helm thing, well, it's just military exercises for urban environments. But isn't it coincidental that Walmarts have closed in areas that these exercises have gone on? Maybe, kind of coincidental. Maybe, I don't know. I mean, this is what I want to know. So when you look at these things happening, doesn't 2 and 2 come into play? Doesn't 1 + 1 equal something to you? Because obviously it does to me. Okay? And to sit there and to, literally put yourself in a position where all you're going to do is poo-poo the idea that martial law is not coming, and you've spent 15 years in the military and you never saw this and no one's ever talked to you. Then what about all these trains that are going all over the place with military equipment going across the country? What about all these cities that are having these urban drills? What about all this stuff happening? What about all this stuff? Huh? Hello? It's not like you can change the channel on this reality TV show, But that's my take on it. Okay? And I just think that people need to see the reality. Okay? They need to see the reality. And that's just the way it is. That's just the way it is. And if we don't, then what are we faced with, folks? If we don't, what are we faced with? From yesterday, 21st of April, 2015, military buildup for Jade Helm is biggest ever seen. Is this Iraq? No, it's the American Southwest. I'm going to put this on the Wayne S. Pierce Show Facebook page, and please take a look at it. Draw your own conclusions on it. Okay? There's not a lot that I can say except pay attention. Okay? Pay attention to what's going on. I don't know what else to tell you. All right? I really don't. A lot of people think that, oh, none of that's happening. Oh, what's happening? None of that. No, folks. Hello. Have you played the game of Monopoly before? Have you seen your opponents try to cheat you? Have you seen them do everything they can to acquire everything you've got? Well, then just imagine that in the United States under UN policy, okay? Imagine that in the United States under this corporate rule we call Washington, D.C., because that's exactly what's going on, folks. Oh, and by the way, Glenn Beck and Alex Jones are right. When you look back at what they've said 5, 6, 10, 15, or well, Alex Jones 20 years ago, Glenn Beck probably about 7 or 8 years ago. If you look at what they've said, you can see that they were right. I followed Glenn Beck from the time he was on HLN, CNN network. He went to Fox. Now he's got his own, network. I've been following and listening to Alex Jones since 2009, 2010. Yeah, some people say he sensationalizes or takes this or takes that. But no. See, what people don't understand is the delivery. Some people say that he's holding back. That he's got that Alex Jones has more information that he's not letting go. Well, guess what? Wouldn't you if you didn't want the enemy to know what you had? Think about that. Well, Glenn Beck's a shill and he works for the government and he's got this. Show me the canceled checks. Show me the checks from the CIA paid to the Blaze Network. To the Blaze Radio Network and Glenn Beck himself. Go ahead, show me. You can't because he's not. Okay? So get over yourself. You're not that damn important. What's important is taking your life and using it to better your situation. And if you think that Glenn Beck and Alex Jones and all these other people are just a bunch of shills and they don't know what they're talking about and all this, well, guess what? Let me bottom line it for you there, jackass. The burden of proof is on you. You ain't got it. Because you never had it. Yeah, I'm calling a lot of people out today. Okay? Calling a lot of people out today. And guess what? You know what? I respect people that sit down and say, you know what? Wayne, you were wrong, and here's why. I respect people like that. You know why? Because I learn a great deal from them. But for someone to tell me I'm wrong and to get up in my face and to say that I got to believe everything they say and this is the way it is and that's, you know what? Bye. Have a nice day. Yeah, you enjoy, because I'm walking away because you're an ass. That's just the way it is. It's just the way it is. Now, a lot of people say, well, why don't you be more tolerant? Why don't people be more honest with themselves? Kind of a catch-22 situation. You got to be honest with yourself, right? But anyway, well, I can go deeper than that, but I won't because you guys are... I don't want to bore you folks. So email me, AmericanLibertyRadio@USA.com. That's AmericanLibertyRadio@USA.com. Go to AmericanLibertyRadio.weebly.com. Check that out as well. You can also check out my own personal website, WayneSPierce.com. And you can contribute to the American Liberty Radio Network right there as well. So if you can, please, thank you. If you're not able to, not a big deal. Just share the show. Thank you. Appreciate that very much. I shall return just right after this. Don't go away. There's more to come.
Eastland Radio Repertory Theater is looking for you. Do you like old-time radio shows? Do you do voiceovers and want to hone your abilities? Have you ever wanted to try your hand at voice acting? Well, you are in luck because Eastland Radio Repertory Theater is casting voice characters for a play currently in pre-production. For more information, contact Eastland Radio Repertory Theater at eastlandradiotheater@usa.com or simply go to their website at eastlandradiotheater.weebly.com.
The reality underneath the honesty. Live Truth Radio. Live Truth Radio with your host, Brian Lang. LiveTruthRadio.com. The best in independent books, films, and music. Radio Rock 92.6 The Blitz promotes and plays original indie music from all around the world. If you've got the internet, you can be heard. Radio Rock 92.6 The Blitz. Go to radiorocktheblitz.blogspot.com.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome aboard. Hold on tight. Get ready.
Whatever the subject you can think of, we talk about it. Come join Diana and Wayne as we discuss whatever it is that is happening in our lives.
Come and listen to Diana and Wayne's Grab Bag Potpourri Talk Show. Check it out on Spreaker.com.
The world as we know it is changing. We must speak out against the tyranny in our country. Stand up. Speak out. Get involved. Live Truth Radio. The reality underneath the honesty. LiveTruthRadio.com.
Time to take our republic back, folks. Brian Bonner, the Uncooperative Radio Show host, will tell you how. Join us for the ride of your life. Using humor and the facts, we will expose the news that the lamestream media refuses to report. The Constitution is the solution, and we can prove it. Listen in and find out what it means to be an uncooperative citizen of these United States. You can find our show at uncooperativerradio.com, and we are rebroadcast on redstatetalkradio.com.
Sharing the truth one fact at a time. This is the Free America Radio Network.
Hey folks, how you doing? This is the Wayne S. Pierce Show podcast right here for the 22nd of April. 2015. How are you? You doing good? Are you happening? Are you there? Hey, just email me. AmericanLibertyRadio@USA.com. AmericanLibertyRadio@USA.com. Go to AmericanLibertyRadio.weebly.com. And also my personal website, WayneSPierce.com. Check things out there. If you can contribute to the network, please do. If not, hey, no big deal. Have a nice day. I really would appreciate the support because we are moving to the next level. Yes, we are. More about that later, actually. Yeah, I got some things in the works. You can be a part of it. So if you want to sponsor the podcast, you can. Yeah, I'm not out to break your advertising budget. All you got to do is email me and ask, and we'll work something out. American Liberty Radio at USA.com. American Liberty Radio at USA.com. So there you go. Anywho, what else is going on in our freaking environment? Infowars.com. VA sends veterans medical information to FBI to get their guns taken away. That's from the Daily Caller. Infowars.com has it up there. And Alex Jones says, what a bunch of garbage, liberal, Democrat, conservative, Republican. It's all there to control you, two sides of the same coin. Two management teams bidding for control of the CEO job of Slavery Incorporated. And that's exactly right. But let's look at this. I mean, the VA has been turned upside down. They've been found out. They're the most, I would say, one of the most corrupt departments in the government. VA sends veterans medical information to FBI to get their guns taken away. The Department of Veterans Affairs is disarming Americans' veterans. Now, say what you want. Like it for what it is or not, doesn't really, it's up to you. I mean, you can decide whether or not you want to believe that. But you are if you want to contradict Alex Jones or myself or anyone else for that matter, the burden of proof is on you. Just saying. Documents obtained by the Daily Caller and the interviews with American veterans reveal a shocking government program. The Department of Veterans Affairs is disarming Americans' veterans by getting them placed on the FBI's criminal background check list. The VA sends veterans' personal, medical, and financial information directly to the FBI and the Bureau of Alcohol, Tobacco, and Firearms, which can seize their guns in home raids. Hurricane Katrina comes to mind. Veterans deemed mentally incompetent or financially incapable are finally speaking out about the errors in the system and the fearful harassment they and their families face from the federal government. And it all starts when vets go to the VA to get medical help. Here's what we know. This is what, and there's a full article on this as well. And I'm going to click on the link there and it'll take me to the Daily Caller site. And continuing, and it's not that long actually, so let me just read you the rest of it. Here's what we know. This is the Daily Caller now. VA medical information is used to block veterans from possessing firearms. The Daily Caller obtained a, quote, memorandum of understanding between the United States Department of Veteran Affairs and the Federal Bureau of Investigation regarding the National Instant Criminal Background Check System, unquote. The document, get this, the document dated February 27th, 2012, makes clear the VA must send health information to the FBI for its gun background check database. Quote, VA will provide an encrypted compact disc exchanged via mail to the FBI no less than quarterly for alia inclusion in the National Instant Criminal Background Check System, unquote, the memo reads. The memo defines the NICS database as a list of, quote, persons prohibited under federal law from receiving or possessing firearms, unquote. Quote, data disclosed by VA to the FBI under terms of this agreement is to be entered into the NICS index, unquote. I'm going to put this up on from the Daily Caller. I'm going to put this on the Wayne S. Pierce Show Facebook page and let you take a gander at it and let you do some research and vet the story and all that. The excuse me. The thing that I have to say is this. As I knock stuff over on my desk. The thing I have to say is this. The VA needs to be scrapped and re-established under constitutional rule of law and under the military code of the U.S. Military Code of Justice. Now, the reason why is because it has to be separate from the federal government, specifically Washington, D.C. Do we privatize it? Not really. But we don't hand everything over to the federal government. I'm going to take another break. I'll be right back. Don't go away. Hey, stick around. If you want to help, go to AmericanLibertyRadio.weebly.com. Thank you very much. I shall return right after this.
Eastland Radio Repertory Theater is looking for you. Do you like old-time radio shows? Do you do voiceovers and want to hone your abilities? Have you ever wanted to try your hand at voice acting? Well, you are in luck because Eastland Radio Repertory Theater is casting voice characters for a play currently in pre-production. For more information, contact Eastland Radio Repertory Theater at eastlandradiotheater@usa.com or simply go to their website at eastlandradiotheater.weebly.com.
The reality underneath the honesty. Live Truth Radio. Live Truth Radio with your host, Brian Lang. LiveTruthRadio.com. Hey, folks, welcome back. This is the Wayne Esper Show podcast right here on American Liberty Radio Network, right here for your enjoyment. You can also find us on Spreaker. Go to Spreaker.com. Look for American Liberty Radio Network. Yes. And by the way, if you want to carry this show away from your computer, you can do that. There's apps right there on Spreaker.com. Go down to the bottom on the right-hand side, and you'll see them all for all your personal communication devices. From your iPad to the Android to you name it, it's right there. Spreaker.com. Hey, if you also want to host a show, they got a plan that fits your budget. And they have a free 30-minute plan. So you can sign up at Spreaker.com and do a show of your own. Plans are very reasonable, folks. Go check it out. Spreaker.com. Anyway, go check out a friend of mine. Speaking of Spreaker.com, he has a show on there, and it's Tom Slick, Radio Rock 92.6 The Blitz. All your independent music and information about movies all in one place right there at radiorocktheblitz.blogspot.com. So anyway, what shall we do? I did not have sex with that woman. Yeah, Bill. Keep saying that. Man viciously beaten on video after horseback chase received $650,000 in a settlement. I guess they wanted to shut him up. Report, J.P. Morgan Chase bans storage of cash in its safety deposit boxes. Stash it under your bed, folks, because that's, or in your mattress or wherever you want to stick it, because that's, yeah. How vitamin studies deceive the public into big pharma profits. Anthony Gucciardi over there at InfoWars put this out. Let me scroll on down here. I want to give you some links here. This post originally appeared at National or excuse me, let me rephrase that. This post originally appeared at Natural Society, and the link is at the bottom of this story. I'm going to put it on the Wayne S. Pierce Show Facebook page. And this was put up today. How vitamin studies deceive public into big pharma profits, says vitamins do more harm than good. Yes, I've heard that. I heard that on the Glenn Beck show today too. Okay. Are vitamins actually killing you, giving you heart attacks, and perhaps even extracted from the depths of Hades? If you follow some of the highly deceiving studies on the matter of vitamin usage that fail to actually tell you when they're using petrochemically derived quote-unquote junk vitamins in all of their testing groups, then the answer may be a very loud yes. And unfortunately, that makes for quite a large number of these studies. It was back in 2011, this is what Anthony Gucciardi says, it was back in 2011 and I first wrote an article breaking down the subject of vitamin studies, he says, entitled, Why Many Vitamin Studies Are Absolutely Worthless. At first glance, it seemed like a ridiculous title to many. After all, how could these studies be worthless when they were performed with perfect testing methodologies and oftentimes involved some interesting results on how the body processes different nutrients? The vitamin research trick revealed. Anthony Gucciardi over at Infowars.com. This original post was on Natural Society. So let me break from this story right here and go to Natural. Oh, he's also written it over there at naturalsociety.com as well. So Anthony Gucciardi says the vitamin research trick revealed it simply has nothing to do with their methods, as many on alternative and mainstream media are currently debating. Instead, it has to do with the vitamin they're claiming to test. And this is what Anthony Gucciardi says. Let me give you an example and break it down. Before I opened up the latest vitamin study after finding it at the top of the very prominent websites, I knew that it would focus, at least somewhat, on vitamin E. Vitamin E is the easy target for researchers to demonize vitamin supplements. It's also too easy because almost no one knows that there are two very different forms of vitamin E in most dietary supplements. As with pretty much all nutrients, we're looking at a synthetic and an organic source. On average, the synthetic source is far less desirable and cheaper than the organic or food-based source. In the case of vitamin E, however, it can be much worse. If you're taking the synthetic version of vitamin E, which is a petrochemically derived analog of natural vitamin E, you could actually be disrupting your endocrine system and sending your body into a perilous state of health. If you opt to take the natural form of vitamin E, however, you're going to be reaping benefits ranging from anti-aging effects to combating oxidative stress. See the difference? If you're supplementing with cheap, contaminated form of vitamin E from who knows where, then of course you're going to be upping your risk of adverse conditions, and the scientists know this. He goes on to say, but are they simply evil anti-vitamin zealots? I don't think so. Instead, the blame lies on the producers of synthetic junk vitamins that reside in pharmacies and grocery stores around the world, because that's what these scientists are studying: junk quality multivitamins. And then we're wondering why they get bad results when they examine the effects of taking the lowest quality synthetic garbage on the market. Let's examine just one of the leading brands, the highly popular Flintstones vitamins. Not only is this number one selling brand of multivitamins for children, but many adults are taking these as well. As noted researcher and analyst Sergi documents this on his foundation website, Green Med Info. Flintstones vitamins are known to contain the following substances. Okay? Now, I'm going to go down this list, and I'm going to tell you exactly what is in these vitamins. Okay? Tell you exactly what's in them. First, on the top of the list, aspartame. Yeah. Second on the list, cupric oxide. Yeah, go check these out. Startpage.com. Write these in there. Go check them out, folks. The third on the list is synthetic vitamin forms. Go check that out. Number 4, coal tar artificial coloring agents. That would be FDNC, blue number 2, red number 40, and yellow number 6. And 5 on the list is zinc oxide. 6 on the list is hydrogenated oil. And 7, GMO cornstarch. Anthony Gucciardi goes on to say, and how about Centrum, another leading multivitamin undoubtedly mixed into many studies as a leading vitamin formula. Centrum contains synthetic petrochemically derived vitamins that are capable of causing birth defects. Are you taking synthetic multivitamins sold in your local pharmacy or grocery store under a subsidiary group of Pfizer or Merck? The reality here is that most vitamin studies are examining high inferior vitamin products, vitamin being in quotes, that most certainly do not deserve to be compared to high-quality, organic-based whole food options. As the media pushes more and more studies on the quote-unquote devastating effects of certain multivitamins, it should only be further reassurance that these products are fundamentally flawed and in desperate need to reformulation. In the end, it's always essential to do your own research and realize the difference between products that work with your body and products that simply work against it. This original post appeared at Natural Society. I'm going to put it to you this way, folks. I'm just going to lay it out to you. I've changed a few things in my diet. Okay? I've changed a few things in my diet. Now, do I feel better? In one way, yeah. But I'm a junk food junkie, man. I am just so jonesing for, cupcakes and ding-dongs that it's amazing. You know what I mean? I just, I don't do it all the time because I know what the effects are on my body. And guess what? I don't want those effects. Okay, it's real simple. I went from 2% whole milk, the 2% milk that people get, the blue cap, to organic milk. And, man, that's changed a great deal for me. Okay? And so start out slow, moderately, go on from there, So, but anyway, it is what it is, folks. And the study, let me lay this out to you. And this goes to these people that are contradicting me and using negative and using, all sorts of information that they know is bogus, but they're going to try to get people convinced that it's real. And that is, Snopes.com comes to mind. And that's this. No matter what you do, no matter how you acquire information, make sure that information is correct, accurate, and honest. And if it is nowhere near one of those three, dump it. Okay? Now, I'll say it again. I don't know everything, but I find this information and I share it with you. Do I know that it's true? Do I know that it's factual? Well, the fruits, I should say, the results of InfoWars or whoever is, working in them, or Pete Santilli or Josh Tolley or you name it, any information that is found can be vetted by you, the listener. I can tell you all this stuff. And guess what? I know that you want me to give you the answers. Well, I'm giving you the information that I have so far. It is up to you and your responsibility and duty and obligation to go out and search this information out yourself to make sure that it's accurate. That's why I say, hey, if you got any questions, comments, concerns, even if you disagree with me, the burden of proof is on you. Email me, AmericanLibertyRadio@USA.com. AmericanLibertyRadio@USA.com. The more I know, the better off you are. Because then I can share that with other people, okay? That's just the way it is. So when you look at people like Alex Jones or Anthony Gucciardi or, any number of, David Knight over at InfoWars, if you look at that organization and you say, oh, they're secretive, and David Orwitz came out and said it's so secretive he doesn't even know what's going on, this, that, and the other thing, right? Free Speech Systems Limited Liability Company is what it is. Free Speech Systems LLC. Go check it out. And when you hear people coming out and saying stuff like that, I wonder, are they jealous that they didn't get enough screen time like Anthony Gucciardi or David Knight or Jakari Jackson or Alex Jones It kind of makes me wonder and question their integrity and character all at the same time. Okay? So I don't know. And like I said, if you have an idea for a show, Spreaker.com is the place to be at this point. Go to Spreaker.com, check out the plans. Plan will fit your budget somewhere. Or do 30 minutes. No big deal. It's up to you. If you really think that you got information that you want to share that's going to blow everybody else away, and oh God, look, and InfoWars lies, and Glenn Beck's a shill, and all that. If you got that type of information, the burden of proof is on you. You ain't got it. I know you don't, but hey, take the information we have and share it and vet it and look at it and examine it and dig through it. And if you still think that we're a bunch of conspiracy right-wing nut jobs, then the burden of proof is on you. There you go. Laying it out there. Okay? Line has been crossed. I'm not going to deal with idiots anymore. That's on the record. Not going to deal with idiots anymore. Okay? I'm going to tell you like it is. I'm going to share with you what I know. I'm going to give you my opinion of it. And if you disagree, hey, it's only my opinion, jackass. Am I right or wrong? I'll be the first in line to admit when I'm wrong. I'll be the first in line to admit when I don't know everything. And I tell you all the time, if I don't know, I'm going to tell you I don't know. So there you go. Well, why are why are you calling people names? Hey, I call them like I sees them. You know what I mean? So there you go. Hey, email me at AmericanLibertyRadio@USA.com. AmericanLibertyRadio@USA.com. Go to AmericanLibertyRadio.weebly.com. Check that out as well. If you want to contribute to the network, you can. Thank you. Appreciate that very, very much. If you want to send your information about a show that you do or whatever network you're on, whatever, promotions around here are free. Now, if you're going to sell something and you want to advertise, that's going to work out for both of us. So, yeah, email me and we'll work something out. AmericanLibertyRadio@USA.com. AmericanLibertyRadio@USA.com. Check it out. Go check out my friend over there in Ohio, Mr. Brian Lang. Stand up, speak out, get involved. Live Truth Radio with your host, Brian Lang, over at LiveTruthRadio.com. Check it out. And folks, it's always good to come to you, but let me remind you of something. I love to remind people of this because it's true. Liberty is the road, and freedom is the goal.